In celebration of Six Flags Great Adventures opening of the 2025 season, I wanted to celebrate by sharing some footage from over 9 months ago that I haven't released to the internet yet because I have a habit of abandoning my Coaster YouTube channel. Um, and if you're expecting quality, maybe you might want to target your expectations because I'm stoned off my ass and I'm really reliving this day with you from 9 months ago, kind of forgetting how some of it went. I do remember this place frustrated the shit out of me, but I mean, it has El Toro, so that it was worth it and all of that. And Six Flags Great Adventure is a park with a speed limit of 12 miles an hour, and you can see this is a great start, right? Well, anyway, one thing I do remember about the start of my day in this fucking place is that I have a thing where I walk around with a stick thing for my GoPro as I'm holding it right now, because I'm clearly not just like finger holding my damn GoPro out of the side of the car as we're driving into the park. Well, I make it all the way to the gate, and this happened at over Texas and over Georgia, and I never learned my lesson. They were like, "Look, this camera holding thing, it's a weapon. People get in fights. It's a baton. It'll kill people." So I had to walk all the way back to the goddamn car, and that just started my day on kind of an off note. And well, we have to slow down. We have to slow down. But the thing is, I gotta say, Six Flags Great Adventure, even all negative, it's a park that has a shitload of roller coasters. I'm visiting this park for the first time in 4 years with a friend who knows the park pretty well, but a friend who has never been to the park before. And we were like, we've already been to shitloads of parks on a coaster trip that we were on in June 2024. And this is park number like 11 or 12 or some shit. And, largely through the marathon. And this is a day that we were already certain was going to exhaust 60, 40, these extortionate fucking prices. Since it's from 9 months ago, you see King Dakar over there? So, sorry. I mean, like, it was still existed when we were there. We had no idea it was going to fuck off forever, but, oops. There's Superman, which I didn't even ride because I got the credit in 2020, and it might be my lowest ranked B&M flyer. Not necessary. Right now, I'm still in a relatively decent mood because, the day before I was in Hershey Park, which was one of the best days of my entire fucking life, on that Tuesday. And Wednesday, we go a few hours to the east, and kind of hard to expect the same level of awesome as that day. But, El Toro's here, so how bad could it be, right? Well, anyway. So, I got angry in between now and like 30 seconds ago because they made me go all the way back to the car, but I guess I didn't record that part where I was angry, so that's good because it's a video that's 49 minutes long having a bunch of negative footage to start this shit. Well, anyway, when I came in 2020, it was during COVID, and I'm pretty sure this is where I caught COVID at Six Flags Great Adventure. I did a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday run of Knoebels Hershey Park in this place, and I did the same Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in 2024, but with a bunch of parks before and after it. And you can see all the ones from before it on my park as I'm releasing these chronologically, albeit with just months of gap between releases because I have to remember that I have this channel. I'm sorry, guys. It's a really poor way to maintain a channel, but just work with me. So I've got some Coca-Cola Zero. I took an outrageously intense gummy that's probably going to be hitting, hard as I'm recording this in one take, which is what I do. M&M's, you can't visit Six Flags without being advertised to every 45 nanoseconds. Oh my fuck. So yeah, one thing I do remember about my day here, a lot of shit was just kind of frustrating. So I've been to every Six Flags except Discovery Kingdom in Mexico, and I know all about having a Six Flags day, but I've had wonderful days at all of the places that can give shitty days. Shit, I was at Six Flags New England the day after this, and I know a lot of people get frustrated there. I had a blast because the park was completely abandoned. Six Flags over Georgia, which apparently gets crowd problems. Most of my visits have been pretty fucking excellent, to be quite honest with you. And Magic Mountain and stuff. I've had great days at all these places, but the 2 days I've had at Great Adventure, the one thing I can remember, other than the fact that yay, they have great roller coasters and shit, is just the average guest is so much more tactless, I guess, than at other Six Flags parks. Like, this is the ultimate Six Flags Day park. Like, you know, just pavement with no shadows with no I don't know how to speak English because I'm high, but like, you know, shade, and operators who just, you know, slow and shit, but it's because of the guests being problematic. I'm not even sure that the ride operators were even doing anything wrong. It's just everything was just, I don't know, operationally janky when I was here, and I don't know who to blame. Maybe I should just blame myself for being a turd. But anyway, El Toro's here. I keep returning to that to reframe positively. And then King Ka. So let me tell you about King Ka. I've only ever ridden it twice, both in the front row, and exactly once in 2020 and exactly once in 2024, and you'll see it here. And I'm fucking glad I did, because that was it. That was going to be the last time ever. My goodness, holy shit. I know that near the end of this video, I was walking toward Green Lantern, which I also got one ride exactly on in 2020, because I was just trying to get all the credits, but the lines were shitty, so I was missing a bunch. I was missing like 7-8 credits from this park, so you're going to see what I choose to ride today is very strange. I had to get on that Harley Quinn bullshit, because I didn't ride it, and a bunch of stuff like, you know, like Runaway Mine Train. Not Runaway Mine Train, I rode that. What are the bullshits that I didn't ride? It doesn't matter, I'll get to them. But anyway, so me and my friends, we had, just like in our Hershey Park day, we had very different priorities on what we wanted to do. So while we may have ridden El Toro together like once or twice, we just disbanded basically after that. I needed to go collect all my random credits that I didn't get. I needed to get my, you know, I only got 3 rides on El Toro, which is really disappointing to me. But, you know, it's more of a grind fest than anything. And then when you want to go between attraction A and attraction B, you need to walk like to the other side of the fucking planet. It's so freaking huge, this place. So walking was the MO of the day. All of us were like, ow, my feet hurt at the end of each day. At the end of the one day we were, I'm sorry, my narration's really whack. But El Toro is a ride that's not really whack. But there was a lot of BS, like with the lockers and getting the flat. I remember seeing the line. I'm like, look, I'm only here once every 4 years, or probably less in the future. Now that King Ka's gone, and you know, I'm not going to be spending my whole day waiting in line. So we coughed up $125 a pop or something to be able to skip the lines, and I still wasn't able to get that many rides in the park because there was so much I needed to do and so much walking in between and bullshit and like rides closing as I'm walking to them and shit. I remember the one thing that made this janky, other than me just pointing at the sky rather than forward in this fucking video. I remember the entire day I was ping-ponging between what was open and what was closed. So like 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 3 rides was closed like the whole day, and then one would open, and I'd storm to the other side of the park, and then it would close in front of my face, and then the roller coaster that was on the part of the park that I fucked off from, like El Toro, El Toro reopened, go catch that shit. And I spent the whole day like really bouncing around trying to find an open roller coaster I wanted to ride. I mean, fucking hell. Anyway, so we're walking toward King Ka, and I had a friend who we ran into at Kennywood on the Friday before this in the trip. This is Wednesday, so like Saturday, 5 days later or something. And he ran into us at Knoebels, and we were supposed to run into him at Hershey Park, but I completely missed the alarm on meeting him where I was supposed to meet him, and I ended up figuring it out and met him here or something, and I think I showed up like really late, and he was about to give up on us. So thank you for being a trooper. He's a guy from Germany who just took like 3 weeks and just trying to catch as many roller coasters as he could, and we were both wearing a Voyage shirt at Kennywood, and then we were like, all right, let's just like ride rides together. But the truth is, as I already told you, me and my friends kind of disbanded here because we had completely different obligations. So Colson, my friend, actually spent time with the person who wanted to spend time with us. Meanwhile, my antisocial fucking ass from Louisiana decided to just, not. So here's El Toro, which I believe when we initially wanted to ride it, it wasn't available, but now it is. Now it's testing or something. All I know is the only reason I got 3 rides on El Toro that day rather than 24 wasn't because of lack of effort. It was because the bitch kept closing and opening and closing, and by the time it reopened, I was on the other side of New Jersey. And like, fuck you, man. So I think we're about to run into that friend that I was telling you about. Oh, Zumanjaro. I never rode it in 2020. And I'm not even the biggest fan of drop rides. I wasn't even necessarily going to ride it at all, but I got 2 rides on that bitch later on this day. And the one thing that made me really, really happy is I got one of those elusive, like, dropping while Kingda Ka comes at you thing. So we were at the top, and they launched Kingda Ka into us, and it dropped. I'm sitting here doing hand motions like that, like you can see me in my voiceover. Christ. Anyway, and we dropped with the Intamin accelerator, and it felt good. Yeah, that's that German guy we were talking about. He's smiling, thinking he's going to spend the whole day hanging out with us. And he'll spend the whole day hanging out with my friend who I'm traveling with, but me, my stupid antisocial ass. Okay, those lockers, there was some bullshit with the lockers that was upsetting, but I'm not quite sure what it was, and I don't care. See, there's my friend I was traveling with that we're not really doing any spending time with each other pretty much after what you're seeing. We're looking at the information about our expensive purchase we made because we don't have patience to wait in lines with, the general public. My opinion about Flash Pass is this, yo. If you live a driving distance from Six Flags, really anything, fuck you. You have a privilege that I don't have because I don't even have the Blight Fest of Six Flags New Orleans to drive to anymore because they fucking got rid of that shit for the Super Bowl so that it wouldn't be, ugly for the people traveling for spending money and shit. So now I have to, I don't even know what I'm saying. So yeah, for me as a coaster enthusiast from the shithole of Louisiana, I have to go 7 hours west to Fiesta, Texas, or 7.5 hours east to Six Flags over Georgia. And I guess if I want to ride Kemah Boardwalk, wait a minute, is this just, what is this black screen? Oh my God, please don't last forever. I don't want to have to go and re-edit this. Oh, it was in my pocket. Oh, look at this. It's fumbling in my pocket. What kind of unprofessional trash is this video? I'm drinking some Coca-Cola. I'm embarrassed. Anyway, wow, that's bullshit. Yeah, so I live very far away from everything, and it's really unfortunate, and you need to pray for me. That's about it, really. I've said this so many times. Look at this, just trash out of Kingda Ka. What am I pointing at? How high was I when I fucking filmed this? It doesn't matter. It's new footage of Kingda Ka for you sad people who miss it and shit. Look, so let me tell you, I guess, I'll tell you about Kingda Ka in a second. Let me tell you about Zumanjaro. So that drop is really cool, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm sorry that I think I'm going to just show the entire walk through this line, but hey, it's a good historical record that I'm sure already exists of what this ride looked like before they destroyed it. So there's my friends Lacey and Colson, and then the German guy that I was telling you about, Pascal, waiting for me. And soon they're not going to wait for me anymore because I'm just going to not be there anymore. And that's because I'm a bad friend or something. Oh fuck! I just dropped my pop filter on them. Oh my God! Hold on. I'm gonna keep like trying to fix this shit like while we're recording. So you might hear me go for a second. Sorry. All right. So man, I was just a mess too. Like maybe part of why I didn't have the greatest day here was because I was just a spaz like all day. Like I remember like I forgot to empty my pockets, and I was already on the ride. I'm like, oh my God, I'm that guest at the park right now. I forgot to take the shit out of my pocket like I begged, and they had to like release the restraint and shit. And I'm just so embarrassed. Okay, so this embarrassing thing that just happened. So you know how I had my GoPro in my pocket with a bunch of just pocket footage, and I was upset? Well, it happened again, and I went and checked the source videos. I had a 23-minute long video of nothing but darkness in my pocket, and that's what I was voiceovering. So unfortunately, I had to break my one take on recording your shit rule that I have, and I had to record a second part for this. And so I haven't even edited the video yet. I've just started the voiceover past the 23 minutes of complete darkness as you guys check out this shot that you'll never see again with, you know, one of the best top 2s in the planet that's now a top 1. And it's okay, because you see King Naka over there? That's going to be replaced with one of those mock spinning tower pieces of shit. Isn't that the same thing? Yeah. Iconic shot that you won't get to ever see again. That's a bummer. It's a real bummer. Front row on that ride, though. Yeah, thumbs down the Joker. Nobody cares. Front row on King Naka is a lot of fun. It's a shitload of fucking fun. Top Thrill Dragster was better, mainly because of just 2 things. 3 things. Less shaky, lap restraints, which are just infinitely better than shoulder restraints, and you see the beach of Lake Erie rather than a parking lot. So, yeah, other than that, I mean, it's pretty great. Public. Dude, all I did was be on marijuana. They were gummies, so it's not like the public was seeing me consume it, but I think that's some funny shit. You guys can't stop me from consuming gummies, man. It's just too quiet. Yeah. Look, that's the fucking the back of fucking gummies. Anyway, what I gotta think. I just realized that so early in the video I was saying it's 49 minutes long. This video, it really isn't, because there's 23 minutes of the shit in my pocket, so that makes it what, 26? Then it's gonna do. Did I do the math right? All right. Well, let me just go down RCDB since there's now like 9 minutes left in this bitch. All right. So, Batman the Ride. I really have trouble remembering which park I rode Batman the Ride in with each opinion, so it's like ranked dramatically low. It's what, this one's number 279 is this one, Batman the Ride. Not great. And in fact, it was one of my worst rides. I didn't enjoy it, and I've been on the good ones like Great America and shit. So, inexcusable. So, you know what's funny is that this is ancient footage, but you still get to see Flash Vertical Velocity, because the first super thrilling Vekoma in the United States that matters, it was standing but not operating for the entire season. So I guess I get that. Was a knockdown trash can? What did I start on that? Anyway, so I can't offer your opinion on that because it didn't exist. Dippin' Dots. There's Dippin' Dots in almost every amusement park. Dark Knight. I don't even remember what that was. It was a mock Wild Mouse. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to talk about that. El Toro is one of the best things in the world, and I think I missed my opportunity to talk about it. El Toro is, I guess the way I would compare it to other wood coasters is it feels like the wood of the track or some shit is more, like, I don't know, refined and precise, so it allows more extremes to exist that you wouldn't feel otherwise on another wood coaster or something like that. So the ejector feels like superejector.com, and it's fucking amazing. My number 8 out of 455. King Naka was my number 36, but now it's got a big ugly highlight on it to delete it because I don't rank coasters that don't exist anymore, so I unceremoniously delete them like they never existed. Batman the Ride, I don't care. Nitro. My opinion of Nitro went up a fuckload. So yeah, I paid for like fast bullshit. And yeah, I paid for all of that and I still had to wait a lot. So I gotta tell you, that was a bit shitty. But Nitro was interesting because I remember considering it like a middle of the road B&M Hyper when I rode it in 2020. But that baby gave me some joyous, lovely fucking rides that day. I rode it more times than El Toro, because the times I wanted to ride El Toro, it was broken down or was on the verge of breaking down as I was walking to it. But Nitro never broke down on me, so thank you, B&M, for once. Jersey Devil Coaster, I finally got to ride it. It was under construction when I was there in 2020. I think I haven't ridden the one in Magic Mountain because I missed it by like a few weeks, which sucks, in 2022. But compared to the one at Fiesta, Texas, oh fuck that. Wonder Woman is dramatically better. And also the seating position's weird where you had to have your like legs separated weird and shit. Yeah, these weights suck. That's why I had to spend a bunch of money. Piece of shit. Anyway, and the riding position was a little weird, but it was a fun ride. barely cracked my top 100, 403, yeah, there you go, whatever number that was. This was one of the missing credits that I just straight up ran out of time in 2020, so I was obligating myself to catch them. What, number 200, what is this? Skull Mountain. Never mind. I don't even see a number next to it. I guess I didn't care about Skull Mountain very much, which tracks because I don't rank coasters that are worse than the worst Aero Mine Train, which is currently number 317 River King Mine Train in Six Flags St. Louis. And for me to not have a number means I think it's worse than that, which is kind of sad. So going down further, Medusa, son of a bitch, was closed. It was open for like a little bit of the day, but I happened to be in the opposite part of the park when Medusa was open, so fuck me, right? I did ride that and Scream at Magic Mountain. Scream is one of the worst B&Ms. It's a kind of a piece of shit. Whereas Medusa was that, but not a piece of shit anymore. I remember liking it when I rode it like a couple times in 2020. So good stuff. Runaway Mine Train, the cute little Aero Mine Train coaster. I upgraded it from one of the middle of the road Aero Mine Trains to one of the better ones. I still think Thunderation, Roadrunner Express, Adventure Express, all that shit is better. But really fun, really lovely, and unexpected, very intense airtime near the end, after a bunch of nothing, which I just love. Reminds me of that fucking... It doesn't matter what it reminds me of. So there's some yellow ride. Anyway, looking back at my spreadsheet again, Joker, S&S free spins are pretty middle of the road, boring stuff. I really have nothing to say about it. I rode it in 2020, so I didn't have to ride it again. Nitro, the only coaster really in this park that didn't upset me or disappoint me. And one thing is tracking, and it's pissing me off now that I'm like remembering this. So the day ended, and with me not being able to record as much footage as I wanted to, and in fact, I want to say this shit dies as I'm walking to Green Lantern, which also fucking closes right in front of my face, so I don't get to ride it. So I actually missed my last ride ever, not knowing it would be the last ride ever. Nitro is just the only one that just didn't do this bullshit to me. Everything just closed and reopened and fucking just teased me all day, but not Nitro. So thank you, Nitro. Thank you. Shit. I don't know. I just remember at the end of the day, my feet hurt. I was upset at only getting 3 rides on El Toro when I spent like $5 million, quadrillion, $100,000 million to ride it more than that. Kingda Ka, I got exactly 1 ride in the front row, and it was just too much of a fuss or cluck to be back there and do that again. Superman Ultimate Flight didn't ride it. Flash Vertical Velocity didn't exist yet. And is that the whole park? Did I forget about somebody? Oh yeah, Harley Quinn Crazy Train. Who cares? Little Devil Coaster, they didn't let me ride it. Wait, they did let me ride it, or one of them. I really don't even remember if they let me ride it. That's how memorable that kid's coaster was. And I really don't feel like going to Coaster Count to tell you whether I rode it or not. So anyway, did I just tell you about the whole park? Yeah, Superman Ultimate Flight is boring. So yeah, that I know that this isn't at all the fan enthusiasm you kind of want about this park, but like, let's be real. As someone who lives in New Orleans, where the most entertaining thing I can do is go for a walk, this is a great place, and I'm glad I came here. And with El Toro here, I will of course return one day. But I'll tell you, without Kingda Ka and without some kind of show-stopping new thing, I don't know, man. This park needs a lot of work, and I mean, just sprucing up and just replacing Kingda Ka, of course. And I don't know. I'll be back when Cedar Fair or whatever they call themselves now, so that Six Flags, six seaters. They make this place better. I'll be back, but I would say compared to all the other Six Flagses, man, like, you gotta look to Fiesta, Texas for the gold standard for the old Six Flags chains. And if you want to have a Six Flags Day, you start filming some trees and complain on the internet 9 months after you visit it, like I'm doing, and yeah. So Jersey Devil Coaster, as I said, it's solid. It's a great addition. They should do the compact models only instead. Thanks. And this is disappointing. I think there's 1 minute left, so I know that I'm remembering correctly that this shit fucking died. as I was not finished recording what I wanted to record. And the reason why largely is because I burned through 23 minutes of getting the camera hot and depleting the battery in my pocket, which I had to, will have to cut out of this video after doing this fucking voiceover because I'm too high to edit the video and then come back and do the voiceover. I'm gonna have to splice two voiceovers together. What a disaster. Anyway, that's my review of Six Flags Great Adventure. If you feel like actually watching a proper review of this place, or really any place, go to Canopy Coaster. And if you want to lose brain cells and know less about the park than when you fucking went to it, talk to me. Anyway, look, the camera about to die, and there's the roller coaster I wanted to ride again and then couldn't because it broke down. Fuck off.